So in the previous video you have learned about the resources, definition of resources and a simple classification of resources. So today in this video we will learn in details about the types of resources. Resources are generally classified into natural, man-made and human resources. So in this video we will learn about the types of resources on the basis of their origin, on the basis of their exhaustibility and based on the stages of development. It means we will classify the resources basis on the status of development. So natural resources are the contribution of nature. Whatever exists in nature and usable by man is termed as the natural resources. As an example, the air we breathe, the water we drink, the animals and plants around us which we use for our needs, and the metals we use to manufacture things, all are natural resources. It means whatever we are taking from the nature and using, everything which we are getting from the nature which we are using are natural resources. So natural resources are classified into different groups depending upon their level of development and use, origin, stock and distribution. So let's start. On the basis of their origin. So on the basis of their origin, resources can be abiotic or biotic. Abiotic resources are non-living while biotic resources are living. Here, biotic resources are substance obtained from living things. It means anything which we are getting from the living things, living elements. They include vegetation, bird, domestic animals and wildlife. So we may call as flora and fauna. We are getting from the animal kingdom and plant kingdom. So everything within the biosphere which has some utility for man is a biotic resource. Vegetation can give to economic activity. Yes, vegetation give economic activity like forestry, lumbering, pastoral farming, it means cattle rearing or agriculture. And animals, feces can be used for livestock raising, dairy farming and fisheries. So man himself is a biotic resource. He is often termed as human resource. Yes, man is a human resource and as being part of fauna, it's man, natural resource. Now abiotic resources. Abiotic resources are non-living substances. They include air, water, land or soil. Abiotic resources are non-living elements. Whatever we are using which are non-living are abiotic resources. So they can be used directly. For example, the land can be used as a site for a house or rock can be used to build a house. They can be used indirectly too. For example, minerals can be extracted from the earth or from the crust, be used in industries to make various products. So anything, any elements which are not living or which are non-living are called abiotic resources. There are many examples of abiotic resources. So next topic is on the basis of their exhaustibility. So resource, on the basis of their exhaustibility, resource can be broadly categorized into two: renewable resources and non-renewable resources. Renewable resources also called inexhaustible resources or flow resources. Flow resources are best example of inexhaustible resources. Flow resources means there is no end of it. It will continuously flow. So they include sunlight, water, wind. It can't never be an end. It will continue. So from time immemorial, water, air are being used by man, but they can be repeatedly used as they are replenished by natural processes, as their stock is continuous. So they are called flow resources. So why renewable resources are called flow resources? Because they can be repeatedly used as they are replenished by the natural process as their stock is continuous. So that's why the renewable resources are called flow resources. But the quantity of sunlight is not affected due to its unjudicious use. With advantages of science and technology, we are being able to make better use of flow resources. As an example, we are using right now solar energy. We are using the solar rays and using many things to produce electricity by solar energy. The force of wind and waves and even heat from earth interior. Heat from earth interior is geothermal energy, which is called geothermal energy, is being interior is now being used to generate energy or generate electricity. So renewable resources are those which do not get exhausted with use. So simple definition of renewable resources: the renewable resources are those material which can't get exhausted after use. They may be temporarily dismissed with use but are renewed again by natural process or proper management. For example, fertility of soil in agricultural lands is reduced with use but may be increased by again addition of manures. But careless use of certain renewable resources like water, soil and forest can affect their stock. Water seems to be an unlimited renewable resources, but shortage and drying up of natural water sources is a major problem in many parts of the world today. So we need to take care, we need to take extra care for using the natural resources. So the next is non-renewable or exhaustible resources. So non-renewable resources are those which have a limited stock. Once the stocks are exhausted, it may take thousands of years to get renewed or replenished. Since this period is much more than human lifespans, such resources are considered as non-renewable. As an example, coal, petroleum and natural gas are some examples. Now next is based on their status of development or based on the stages of development. Resources may be classified into two main categories: potential resources and actual resources. So potential resources which are found in a region but have not been utilized. It means resources are found in a particular area but we are not using that. For example, the western part of India, particularly Rajasthan and Gujarat, have enormous potential for the development of wind. It means in the area of Rajasthan and Gujarat, there is a potential to use the wind energy and the solar energy, but so far this have not been developed properly. So it is in stock, so that's why it is potential resource. So the resources which have capacity to fulfill human needs but they may not be utilized until technical know-how makes them accessible and usable. It means, what do you understand by the term technical know-how? Technology is already discovered or invented by the technology to use a particular resource, that is technical know-how. Even now, there are vast reserve of resources which cannot be used presently with available technology or infrastructure. It means technology or infrastructure already invented, but we are not using because we don't need right now. So the particular resource is in stock. These resources which exist but cannot be exploited presently remain as a stock for future use. They are termed as potential resource. Here in your book there is example: water in the ocean which we cannot use for drinking purpose. By the development of desalinization project, we can solve the problem of shortage of water but the process is difficult and extremely costly. We do not have proper expertise to use it, but our future generation may be able to do so with further advancement of science and technology. So desalinization means seawater, oceanic water have salinity. So remove that salinity and make it a drinking water. That is desalinization. Now next is actual resources. Substances or natural substances whose location and condition have been determined and which are already being utilized by present generation are termed as actual resources. It means substances, location, condition have already determined and we are right now using that. The resources which we are right now using and utilizing, these resources are called actual resources. So the area with any particular resources is surveyed. It means to, if anything which we are using, so before using that we need to survey, check the quality and quantity, and obviously the economic value, a valuable usage. So the area with any particular resources is surveyed, the quality and quantity of resources is determined, it is then obtained and put to valuable use. So we can give example, the Chhatnagpur plateau where minerals are being used, and the Jharkhand area of Jharia where coal is being used. And here is the example in your book, the coal and iron reserve of USA, which have helped in rapid industrialization of the country, its actual resources. We can give example of India too. There is huge deposits of coal in Jharkhand and region of West Bengal. That coal is being used in the many iron and steel factory where, or iron and steel plant where it's helping to develop the country. So today read up to this. In the next class we will discuss about the more parts of the classification, as on the basis of the ownership and on the basis of the distribution, the classification of resources. Then we will learn utilization of natural resources. Thank you.